friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing really well. So this is going to be my announcement video for my part in the Old School April Read and Watchathon that's being hosted primarily by Kelsi from Slime and Slashers. But this year there's a whole slew of us co-hosts and we're doing a huge competition. So this is going to be one massive epic April that's gonna go on here in about a month or so. So you guys probably already know about this. I know my co-hosts had put their videos out on Friday, so I was a little bit late getting mine done because of just life got in the way, being an adult got in the way, and I've been a little bit crazy with work unexpectedly, so my video came out a couple of days late. So I hope you guys have already seen the other co-host videos. If you haven't, I'll make sure to link everyone down below, so go watch Kelsi's original video. She has one that's a little bit more in depth, and then all of us co-hosts have put out our own kind of kickoff videos, if you will. So before we get into the Old School April Read and Watchathon, I did want to share with you guys a gift that I just got in the mail that's actually vintage inspired, and it fits right in with this. So earlier this week, I was having just a crap time. Like, it's been absolutely super crazy at work. It's been really stressful. I've been putting in a lot of hours, and I was so happy to get this gift in the mail. So a few months ago, just before Christmas, a couple of other booktubers and I did a Secret Santa exchange. So my Secret Santa, who was Amy McCaw, who of course is the author of Mina and the Undead, Mina and the Slayers, and she has her own booktube channel as well. I'll have that link down below also. She was my Secret Santa, and she let me know that my gift was going to be late. She said, I know you're gonna love this, and just give it a little bit because I really want to get this for you. And she sent it over in the mail. It just arrived and it couldn't be more perfect. So I have to show you guys this because it fits right in with this whole theme. So I've seen these around actually, and I've really wanted one. So this is a nightlight that's made out of a VHS tape, and this particular VHS tape is tape 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I mean, how unbelievably perfect. So like I said, I've seen these around. I've wanted to get one myself. They do them with all kinds of different retro shows, and there's a few artisans on Etsy that do these, and I thought this was absolutely perfect. And besides the original VHS tape that was converted into the light, it also came with the original VHS case. So this is tape 1, When She Was Bad, Some Assembly Required, School Hard, and Inca Mummy Girl, which is of course from season 1 of Buffy. And it's you know, you couldn't hit anything more perfect for me. I know I've been geeking out about Buffy for the last little while. I just released my Buffy video a couple of videos back, my least and most favorite episodes. So this fit in absolutely perfectly. And there are prompts and ideas that I have of what I'm going to do during the Old School April Read and Watchathon, because of course Buffy is a 90s show. It was brand new when I was growing up and I was like a mega fan. So thank you so much, Amy, for sending that over. You were absolutely right. You were spot on. You know me so well, and I have to say that all of my friends in this community know me so well. They are probably some of the only people in my life that can actually buy a gift for me, because I'm very picky and I'm very particular. So thank you so much again. It was worth the wait, and it has a special place on my Buffy shelves with my collection. So thank you so much. So getting on with the Old School April Read and Watchathon announcement. So if you guys were kicking around last year, I took part in Old School April. So Kelsi was she was hosting it herself, and there was, you know, reading prompts, there was watching prompts, and she had some tags that she did that were inspired by Are You Afraid of the Dark versus Goosebumps, and there was a whole bunch of different things, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And this year, just a little while ago, she put a call out on Instagram to some of us booktubers and asked if anybody would be up for co-hosting this year's Old School April. So I was already excited about it coming up anyway. So of course I sent her a DM and I said, yes, I'm in. And unbelievably, we ended up with a whole slew of us that wanted to do this. And I have to say that these guys are so smart and fun, and they have so many ideas and everything. Like, our chats have just been blowing up. So this is going to be fantastic. So I'm going to jump in and kind of let you guys know how it's going to work, and then the prompts. And I'm going to be doing separate videos for my choices for the prompts, and maybe some suggestions as well of what you guys can use if you would like to take part. So Kelsi kind of got the idea of doing it this way from an old vintage 90s, I believe it's 90s, show called Legends of the Hidden Temple. And this is an American thing, I think, because we didn't have it here in Canada. I had never heard of it before, but it sounded like so much fun. So for each one of the prompts, you can get a point, or what we're calling temple pendants. So points is a little bit easier to say, so I'll probably just say points, but she has some printables of really cool temple pendants that you can print out if you want to just, you know, follow along and do it yourself, because they're not physical, of course, it's just virtual. And there's an Instagram group set up, Old School April, and there's a Discord set up. She has a whole bunch of printables and wallpapers that you can use on your Instagram. She's put so much work into this, and it's fantastic. So I'm going to flash a couple of them up on the screen here, and of course all of the hosts will have links for everything that you guys can download yourself. So the main difference between last year and this year is that there are teams, and you guys can join whatever team you guys like, and the teams are based on that Hidden Temple show that I mentioned earlier. So the 3 teams are the Blue Barracudas, Silver Snakes, and Purple Parrots, and each team has a group of hosts that you guys can have fun with and chat with, and all of the things through Discord and Instagram, and we'll be hosting some videos and stuff like that as well. So on the Blue Barracudas, we have Kelsi, who's the main host, of course, Alex from the Bookubus, myself, and look at little Lizzie with her guitar, playing her brother's guitar, and Andrew from It Came From the Page, who is also a fellow Canadian. So we have made Kelsi and Alex fellow Canadians, and we're just doing it up. So that's the Blue Barracudas. For Silver Snakes, we have Kat from Kat's Novel Adventures. April doesn't have a YouTube channel. Actually, she's over on Instagram at Apples and Alchemy. And Sarah from the BookTube channel Thrills and Kills. And on the Purple Parrots, we have Katrina from Katrina Brown, Kelly from Kelly Hooked on Books, and Amy from Amy Noel Reads. So you guys can pick whatever team you want to be on. So each team will have the opportunity through the reading and watching prompts and the bonus prompts. There's a whole slew of bonus prompts as well, to earn temple pendants or points towards your team. So there's going to be a ton of things going on for the entire month of April. So we have the reading prompts, the watch prompts, the bonus prompts. There's going to be live shows, sprints. Like I said, there's a Discord group, there's an Instagram group, and we're also looping in one of April's challenges. So Apples and Alchemy last year had 6 Sad April, which is a photo challenge as well. So we're looping them all together, and it's just going to be one giant extravaganza. So I will let you guys know if you want to get your points counted and you want to actually take part in, you know, being a member of a team. If you didn't, that's totally fine, and you just want to do the prompts, that's cool as well. But if you want to get your points actually counted, you do have to submit them on the Discord channel or on the Instagram DM page. So make sure you go watch Kelsi's original video. Like I said, she goes through a lot of the rules and all of that in a little bit more in depth, and so I just wanted to give you guys kind of an overview. So this is going to be a total extravaganza. So for me, in addition to it being Old School April, which I loved last year, it's also halfway to Halloween, and we always celebrate halfway to Halloween. And I have to say that this past October, Halloween did not happen for us. So both my husband and I were sick with COVID, and we also had to put our dog down suddenly. So we were both grieving. Halloween didn't happen for us. So we are doing it up this April. And then besides that, for me, it's also Nirvana month, because of course Kurt Cobain was found dead on April the 5th. And so, you know, with Nirvana being an old school 80s, 90s rock grunge band, you know, all of this just fits together, and it's going to be a blast. So I'm going to go through the prompts really, really quickly. So like I said, I will have a separate video that I'm going to do that have the books and movies that I'm planning on reading and watching, and the bonus prompts that I'm planning on taking part in, and what, you know, my own plans are. Probably split up over a couple of videos because it can get pretty long. So that's it. That's kind of the introduction. I'll go through the prompts, and I really, really hope you guys are going to take part in this. It's going to be a lot of fun. So first for the reading prompts. So there are 9 prompts plus 1 bonus. And the thing here is, and all of us really had this conversation through Instagram as well, that we want this to be fun. We want it to be easy to follow and non-stressful. Like, we don't want people to stress out about this. So the biggest thing is when people take part in readathons and watchathons and stuff like that, sometimes they'll double up on the prompts, like have one book for several prompts. So you can do that here, absolutely. The prompts are also very, very loose, and they're very wide. They encompass a wide range. So this, of course, being Old School April, is targeted at books and movies that are prior to 2003, so 20 years ago. The other thing is you can read a newer book that either takes place during one of those years, or you can read a newer book that's, you know, retro style, or, you know, has particular things on the cover. So like I said, you know, just have fun with it. It's very loose. It's very stress-free. So jumping right into the prompts here, prompt number 1 is read any Goosebumps book or read a book that fits the theme or vibe of an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? So very, very simple. You either read a Goosebumps book. I have almost the entire series here. I haven't read one for quite a while, so I'll probably read a Goosebumps book. But if you didn't want to do that, or you don't have any Goosebumps, you can read a book that fits the theme of an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Now, Kelsi does have a list of all of the episodes and kind of what it has to do with. So, you know, you got The Tale of the Ghastly Grinner, and you can read something that's themed around that particular episode. So very, very easy. Prompt number 2 is read any horror book published or set in the 80s, or read a middle grade or YA book published or set in the 80s, or a book with a retro vibe. So along the same lines again, like I said, I'll have some suggestions and stuff like that down the road, but My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix is a good example here. Next up, we have prompt number 3, nostalgic technology, and I really, really like this one. So nostalgic technology, read a book featuring older technology either on the cover, so pictured on the cover, or in the story. So something with a typewriter, a cassette deck, arcade games, Walkmans, Polaroids, 8-tracks, anything like that, old, really old style computers, that sort of thing. You can totally read a book that has any of that either pictured on the cover or it's part of the story. And I have a perfect example of this, and I'm really, really excited that I can finally pick it up and read it. So this was perfect. So prompt number 4 is a mood read. So read a book published or set in 2003 or earlier, or a book with a retro vibe. So very, very wide prompt here. You can pick just about anything that's published in the year 2003 or earlier, or you could pick a newer book that has a retro vibe. So again, My Best Friend's Exorcism is a really, really good example, and retro is really big right now. So you might be able to find a very recently published book. You might even have it on your shelf, and this is a good opportunity to pick it up, that has kind of those retro vibes wound into it. Prompt number 5, read any Fair Street, Point Horror, or Christopher Pike book. So again, very, very wide here. Those are huge collections. So like for me, you know, I have about 60% of the Fair Street books. I have a huge Point Horror collection. And then Christopher Pike is a little bit on more of the bizarro side, so you can totally go with that as well. Prompt number 6, we have Teen Witch, and I love this prompt because Teen Witch is a great show. It says, read a book with magic, magical elements, magical items, wizards, sorcerers, witches,
devils, witches, demons, ogres, trolls, sandmats, harpies, ghouls, sorcerers,
cursed objects, or occult/supernatural elements. So again, very, very wide prompt. I mean, all of us probably have something on our shelves that would fit in there. I've never felt like I was so much of a part of like Harry Potter and Hogwarts before in my entire life, like with the teams and the points. And I'm a Ravenclaw as well, so being on the Blue Barracudas really fits in with this whole thing. I mean, I just feel like I'm going to Hogwarts. This is awesome. So next up we have read any horror book published in the 90s, or a middle grade or YA book published or set in the 90s, or a book with a retro vibe. So this one is the 90s themed book, so either takes place in the 90s, was published in the 90s, or has a retro vibe. That's a newer book that looks like it could be from the 90s. So very, very loose on these prompts. Like I said, this is great. Next up, is the Buffy prompt. So excited. So for the Buffy prompt, it's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, read a book with a female protagonist or a book written by a woman. So here, like, you know, with these prompts as well, you could read any book by a woman. It doesn't necessarily have to be old or retro. It would be good if it was, but you could pick any book that's written by a woman. So that's it for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I'm so happy that I have an entire shelf now of Buffy books, so I can definitely pick up one of those and read those. So I did highlight my Buffy collection that I got around the holidays a little while ago, and I've been dying to pick one of them up. And the bonus prompt is read a book with neon on the cover. So of course, you know, fluorescent everything was huge back in the 80s and 90s. And again, this does not have to be a retro book specifically. So just because these were right next to me. So we have Little Monsters. It has some neon pink and neon orange on here. And this is a good one. Kelsi also mentioned this one, I think, as well in her video. Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. So this has tons and tons of nice fluorescent pink and green and orange and everything on the front. And this is very much inspired by Scooby-Doo. So that fits right into the whole theme. So that's it for the reading prompts. Very, very loose, very stress-free. And like I said, you can double up on the prompts. So if you want to use one book for multiple prompts, you can. This is a really, really good option here. So this is Master of Murder by Christopher Pike. So here you have vintage technology on the cover. There is neon on the cover. Now, I don't know if you can loop in the bonus prompt with this one. I'll have to check with Kelsi, so I'll report back to you guys. And it is also a Christopher Pike book. So vintage technology and a Christopher Pike book. You can double up on those two prompts, and I will check on the bonus prompt. I'm not sure if you can double up on that one. So that's a perfect pick right there. And next up we have the watch prompts, and I love retro movies. We just watched The Goonies last weekend, and I mean, I think I saw it for the first time when I was like 6. Came out in what, 85, I believe, 84 or 85. And I love it just as much now as I did back then. It's literally one of my favorite movies of all time. And it was just gearing me up for this whole old school April vibe. So getting into the watch prompts, prompt number 1, watch any Goosebumps episode. So very, very easy. They're like 22 minutes. And Goosebumps is available on Netflix, I think, still here in Canada. I know in the States you guys do have them. I believe they're still available here. Or you could probably find them on YouTube also. Prompt number 2, watch any 80s horror movie. I mean, the 80s was, you know, there's just so much to choose from. And they have all of those classic cheesy slashers. So that one's great. I'm planning on watching, and again, I'll go over this in my choices video, but like something like Slumber Party Massacre is another one. I believe that one came out in my birth year of 1982. So I can kind of tie in with that. Poltergeist is another really, really good one. That's one of my favorites. And then prompt number 3, watch an episode of any 90s Nickelodeon show or a Nickelodeon movie. So again, I love how she has both the shows and the movies, because the shows are super, super short, you know, 20 minutes, you're done, you put in for your points, that's it. Kelsi has a couple of suggestions over on her page. With me, I always struggle to know what's Nickelodeon and what's not, because we actually didn't have the Nickelodeon channel when I was growing up here in Canada, and that will tie into one of the bonus prompts as well. But like for me, we had YTV here. I have my YTV earrings in, but I will come back with some suggestions, like I said. So next up we have watch a movie or TV show episode set in the 80s, 90s, or a newer adaptation of an old school movie, show, or book. So for this, you can, of course, watch a retro movie or TV show, or you can watch a newer adaptation. So like we were just talking about Scooby-Doo, the newer Scooby-Doo movies is a perfect example. So you can watch something like that. And then next up, of course, we always have to have a mood read and a mood watch, and you can just, you know, just loop it in. So mood watch, anything from 2003 or earlier. Any movie, doesn't have to be horror. You know, this is very, very loose. Sorry guys, my camera just cut off. I was talking about the mood watch. So I have a whole slew of movies that I'm going to suggest, and also let you guys know what I'm going to be watching when I do my to be watched list. So next up we have watch an episode of any Disney Channel show or Disney Channel original movie from the 90s or early 2000s. Now, that's going to be very, very easy for me. I'm a huge Disney fan. And besides that, we do have Disney Plus as well. So very, very easy to do. But I like how Kelsi wrapped this in here. So it says, or an equivalent from your country. So we were talking about YTV. So that was kind of the kids channel here. We didn't have the Disney Channel growing up. We actually had the Family Channel, and it had a lot of the Disney original movies and TV shows and all of that kind of thing. But we didn't have the Disney Channel itself. So for us here in Canada, you know, we have YTV, we had CBC had a lot of stuff on it. And of course, over in the UK, you're going to have a completely different set of stuff. So for us, you know, we had the Raccoons, we had Degrassi, we had the hilarious House of Frightenstein. We had, did I say the Raccoons? We had You Can't Do That on Television. We had the Edison Twins. There was a whole bunch of different ones that we had, so we can go with something like that as well, which I think I'm planning on doing both. I'll probably watch something that's specifically Disney, but I'll also probably watch something, or more than one thing, that's specifically Canadian also. And the next watch prompt is watch any 80s movie or TV episode. So again, doesn't have to be horror. Most of us have horror channels, but that doesn't have to be necessarily horror. So you can, you know, you have a whole slew of things to choose from. And then the next prompt, watch any 90s horror movie. So Scream and all of those, I Know What You Did Last Summer, all of those great old vintage horror movies, slasher movies, those are great as well. And then next, the non-horror prompt is watch any 90s movie or TV show episode. So again, we have all kinds of different stuff in our respective countries. So I'd like to learn a little bit more about shows and stuff like that from the 80s and 90s from other countries as well. And then there's a whole slew of bonus prompts, a whole slew. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but I'm planning on doing most of them. Matthew and I are going to have a blast doing this. We love watching movies. We love watching TV shows together on the weekends. We have date nights every Saturday night. We like doing activities together and that sort of thing. So the first two bonus prompts, and like I said, I'm not going to go through the entire list, but these ones are really important. So we have the read any host recommendation. So Kelsi has them all listed on her channel. So all of us recommended a book. And for me, I recommended Witch by Christopher Pike. This was my favorite book when I was growing up. I found it at my grade 6 book fair. I don't know how this ended up in a grade 6 book fair, but it was very much my catalyst into going from Goosebumps into R.L. Stine, Christopher Pike, point horror, all of those kinds of things. This book holds a very special place in my heart, and even though Christopher Pike is very popular now, especially with the show that just came out and stuff like that, and within the community he's very popular, but a lot of people haven't read him. They read a lot of R.L. Stine and that kind of thing, but Christopher Pike has his own brand of horror, and these are very funny. You got to take them with a grain of salt, because sometimes the language and the ideas and stuff didn't age very well, but that's just part of the charm. It's just the way things were back then. So this was my book that I recommended, and the next bonus prompt is watch any host recommended movie. So like I said, Kelsi has a whole list on her channel. I'm planning on watching as many of them as I possibly can, and the movie that I recommended was Troop Beverly Hills. I watched this one last year for Old School April, and I can't wait to watch it again. It is so cute, it's so vintage, and Shelley Long is just the epitome of 80s. It's fantastic. So this movie is about a bunch of Girl Scouts from Beverly Hills, and one of the young Girl Scouts, her mother is going through a divorce with her father, and she wants to kind of bond with her daughter a little bit, and she's very about Beverly Hills, like, you know, the socialite, fancy clothes, designer, all of that sort of thing, and she tries to get in with this group of girls who are going on camping trips and, you know, doing all of the outdoor things and everything, and it's hilarious. So if you've never seen this and that sounds good to you, go ahead and pick it up, because I'm going to be watching this. And I didn't put in a second choice, but another one that I plan on watching, one of my favorite movies of all time, and I've actually already put in a clip into the video here just before. So that clip where they were talking about the witches and demons and trolls and sandmarks and all of that, that is from the movie called The Flight of Dragons. So that is my other choice. So I didn't get it in for the host recommendation list officially, but this is another one that I'm going to be definitely watching, and I want everybody to watch this. It's so good. It's an old style cartoon, I believe from the 70s. It's based on a book. It has the voices of John Ritter and James Earl Jones and a whole bunch of famous people, and it's a very unknown movie, but it is one of my absolute favorites. So those are the first 2 bonus prompts, and you can do as many or as few of the prompts that you want. If you just want to do the watch prompts and the read prompts, you can. If you want to do the bonus prompts and you don't want to do it, that's totally cool as well. So a couple of other ones: eat or drink a nostalgic snack or beverage, and we actually have a, I call it Fizzing Whizbees, but that's not the Rocket Fizz is what it's called. But it's a nostalgic candy shop here in my community, so I'll probably go there. I'll take you guys along. Maybe we'll do a vlog and pick up some old school candy and chocolate and stuff like that. We've got play a game that you used to play as a kid, eat a s'more.
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls.
Color a nostalgic themed coloring sheet. So I have some, like, you know, vintage style Halloween coloring books here, all of that sort of thing. And another one of them, I think I skipped over it already, is like listen to music that you used to listen to when you were younger. So for me, that was all grunge and like new metal and stuff like that. So that ties in with my Nirvana month. So that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about.
Hey guys, Editing Lizzie here. So I just wanted to mention that over on Kelsi's channel on April the 29th, which is a Saturday, we're going to be having a huge slumber party on a live, and there's going to be all kinds of games and activities that we're going to be doing, and the 2 teams that have come out on top are going to go head to head in like a trivia contest and all kinds of things to determine the ultimate winner. So just wanted to mention that because I did forget to say that during the video. And then on Sunday, April the 30th, there is going to be a closing ceremonies again on Kelsi's channel. So make sure you mark both of those dates on your calendar and come out and have a great time with the rest of us. Thanks guys.
Make sure you go watch Kelsi's original video. Make sure you go check out the other hosts' videos. I am going to be face and eyes into this thing. I know that I'm like quiet and like the nice Canadian, but when it comes to competing and competitions, like I want to win. So I'm going to be driving you guys to get all of that stuff done and giving all kinds of suggestions and everything. I think this is going to be so much fun. I'm actually off work for a week in April as well. And yeah, so I hope you guys join in. And if you have any questions, just shoot me a note on Instagram, or you can ask one of the other hosts as well. I'll have everything linked down below, and I hope you guys join in. Hope you guys have fun with it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give me a thumbs up, leave me a question or a comment down below, because you know I love chatting with you guys. But until next time, stay spooky everybody. Bye.